Hey guys, how's it going? It's Christine here. I'm a 25-year-old reading books and trying to do a podcast because I need a new hobby. So this is me reading Sweet Nightmares by Tracy Wolff for the first time. I have good hopes and high hopes for this book. More so because I loved her Crave series, which, if you guys want me to do a summary on that, because there's 5 or 6 books of it. If you guys want me to do a summary of those, I can. Just let me know in the comments below. Anyways, we left off at the conclave meeting. And at the conclave meeting, it didn't go so well. Clementine feels betrayed by her mom, especially because she wasn't able to apply to colleges. She wasn't allowed to. But maybe we'll find out the reason why in the next 2 chapters. Because by the sounds of it, it seems like she's planning on having a meeting with her mom to try and figure out, why. Why did she do this to her? I've started a new podcast with the book Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. It's Twilight's version of Edward's point of view. If you guys ever wondered what Edward was thinking throughout the entire, Bella Swan's fiasco, this is the book for you. Because it states what Edward was thinking the entire time he was with Bella. Anyways, I'll link that below, or you can just click on my channel to find other podcasts. That would be, honestly, probably the most easiest. Let's get into this. This is the reading of chapter 8 to 9 of Sweet Nightmares by Tracy Wolff. Let's get into it. Chapter 8. Rain, rain, ghost away. So what happens if you call in sick to trinkler duty? Lewis asked the next day at lunch as we make our way down to what is very definitely a dungeon. He insists on accompanying me today because yesterday was rough. He isn't wrong. I have to say, after your mom's bad behavior, I think she should have to do it instead. No shit. I agree. I stopped at her office this morning to talk to her before my first class. I figured I'd be calmer before I had to take on the Trinklers and Jude in the same afternoon. But she blew me off. Told me she'd try and make time for us to chat after school. Also, that damn storm that is brewing yesterday is moving in fast, which means the Trinklers should have an extra nasty moods today. I'm a little terrified that I'm going to be longing for yesterday's level of roughness before the next hour is over. I think you should let me go in there with you, Lewis suggests for the 14th time today, in which we continue down the hallway. It's clear you need help. Yeah? But if my mother catches you helping me, I started. But Lewis cuts me off. It's not like I'm going to tell anyone, he says, making a face at me. It's not like your mother's going to be setting so much as a toe down there anytime soon. No one has to know. Yeah, until one of the Trinklers takes a chunk out of you. He rolls his eyes. Claudia seems good at keeping secrets. You really want to test that theory? I shoot back as I pull out my phone to turn on the flashlight. Before I swipe on it, I fire off another text to Serena, asking how the spell and the interview went. I really hope she gets a job. I can't believe your uncle didn't replace the light bulb. Lewis breaks off as I stop dead. What's wrong? Nothing. My stomach clenches a little, but I ignore it. Just like I ignore the fact that the closer we get to the end of this hallway, the more I notice a strange glow coming from the vestibule at the end. Your face doesn't look like it's nothing. He glances at me concerned. It's probably just a storm. No big deal. But then a low, rasping moan creeps its way around the corner and stops me in my tracks. What? Lewis demands, skidding to a halt behind me. What did you see? It's not what I see, it's what I heard. The sound comes again, lower and more desperate this time, as unease slithers along my skin. Lewis, on the other hand, jumps straight past panic into full-blown terror. I didn't hear anything. Did you hear? Did something actually get out? He squints his eyes, surveying the hallway with his diminished but still excellent wolf vision. It's not the menagerie. I try to focus my feet to start moving again, but they don't budge. His eyes widen as he finally figures out why he isn't hearing or seeing what I am. Oh, fuck. I look down at the floor, focus on the cracks running through the cement, and force myself to get my shit together. Let's go, I tell him. Go? Lewis looks wild-eyed. Don't we need a plan? The last thing I want for them is to hurt you again. They won't, I blow out a breath. And I have a plan. Oh yeah? His brows go up. Get in front of me and run like hell. We'll take the long way to the Trinklers and hope they don't follow us. That's it? That's the whole plan? He demands. I nod. That's the whole plan. I should have made it clear I meant a good plan. Still, he starts backing up. Okay, tell me when to run. Another eerie wail makes one of my pores prickle. The sounds are getting closer. One more deep breath before I force myself to shout, now! We book all the way down to the hallway, but I skid to a stop a few feet before we have to turn because an eerie light is leaking around the corner too. Why are we stopping? Lewis demands. Shouldn't we? We need to get to the stairwell. I grab his arm and start tugging him backwards. The stairwell? What about the Trinklers? They'll have to wait, but the second I turn, I know it's too late. What do we do? I don't know, I answer, because everywhere I turn is suddenly filled with ghosts. Hundreds and hundreds of ghosts. Chapter 9. Time to get the hall out of here. The ghosts hover just a few inches off the floor, and they all have three things in common. They're all translucent, they have a strange misty glow that radiates from inside of them, and they all emit a musty smell that reminds me of old dusty books. Right now, the hallway smells like a dim, ancient library, even though it's lit up like a fireworks show. Shit. There are a lot today, I mutter. I try to draw a mental map around them to the stairwell, but it's so crowded right now I don't know how I'm supposed to get past all of them unscathed. Because of Cowder Academy's long and not so illustrious past, a lengthy special legacy has remained, one that is distinctively uncomfortable for me since I have been able to see them my entire life. I don't know why I can see them when no one else in my family can. And I definitely don't know why the same spell and equipment that inhabit my manicore magic that kept me from being able to shift or create venom. And I definitely don't know why the same spell and equipment that inhabits my manicore magic that keep me from being able to shift or create venom don't also tamp down his weird ability. Maybe it's not a power at all. Maybe it's something extra that fates decided to curse me with. As if being born on this damn island wasn't curse enough. Whatever it is, it led me here, to staring at a sea of the dead. I take a few tentative steps, then really wish I hadn't because hundreds of milky gray eyes turn towards me. Seconds later, they all start slowly floating in my direction, which, I decide, is an invitation to get the hell out of Dodge. I take off in a sprint with Lewis right behind me. I sidestep a couple of giant hoop skirts and rolling head right off the bat, and even manage to juke my way around the conductor waving his cane in the air as he leads a symphony none of us can hear. Confidence fills me. Maybe I'll actually make it out of the end without getting stopped. But then, out of nowhere, something flickers directly in front of me. I have one moment to recognize it's a teenage girl, one with waist-length hair and a septum piercing, and then I'm running straight through her. Pain slams into me, taking hold of my insides and shaking them until I feel like I'm about to explode. Like every molecule that makes up every part of me are spinning faster and faster, bouncing off each other before hurtling themselves at the inside of my skin. I clamp my teeth together to stop an instinctive whimper from escaping, but I stumble regardless. Lewis makes a dive for me, but his hand glances off my shoulder as I fall flat on my face. What the hell was that? I didn't feel like a ghost, or at least not like any ghost I've ever touched before. Lewis reaches down and pulls me up, but I barely take more than a step or two before I come face to face with Finnegan, one of the ghosts I've known the longest. Clementine! His low rasp fills the hallway along the clank of his manacles as he lumbers towards me, dragging his left leg behind them through the mist. One of his eyes is hanging halfway down his cheek, attached through the eye socket by the thin, barely visible silver thread. As he makes his way to me, I catch a streak of red out of the corner of my eye. I turn my head, trying to figure out what other student would be foolish enough to risk it down here if they didn't have to. But before I could figure out, Finnegan reaches for me, snaps me back to my oh-so-painful reality. Clementine, please, he mumbles, his disjointed jaw popping and clicking as one translucent hand tries to touch my shoulder. I dodge it just in time and I start running. I can't help you, Finnegan, I tell him, but the usual he can't hear me. I don't slow down. I keep racing towards the stairwell. Something else flickers to my right. I jerk backwards, whirling away so it's not to get caught by whatever that is again. It works, and I even manage to avoid a small group of ghosts dressed in shorts and bathing suits, only to plow through yet another flicker-like being that materializes directly in front of me. That thing is huge, dressed in what looks alarmingly like a spacesuit and trailing the same kind of shimmery material the teenage girl was. It appears totally different from the usual mist, but before I can even wonder why that is, I run headfirst into what feels like a million fragments of glass. They slice through me, burrowing beneath my skin, cutting into my flesh, my bones, my heart. They shred every part of me and send the pieces crashing against each other until I can't breathe, can't think, can't stand. I scream as I start to fall, and I throw my arms out in a futile effort to catch myself. It doesn't work. I stumble several more steps before falling down to my knees. Behind me, Louis shouts, "Get up, Clementine!" as he grabs my arm and starts to pull. The spirits are closing in on me from all directions now. The weird flicker and full-blown ghosts, and there's nothing I could do to stop them. Louis positions himself in front of me, tries to protect me as best he can from the unprotectable. He even raises his fist like he's ready to fight. I have no idea what defense he thinks that will be for a bunch of ghosts he can't even see. I scramble for purchase as I try to get upright, but then a spectral chest crashes into my shoulder from behind and 1,000 needles prick my skin. Another ghost grabs my arm, sending ice-cold razor blades slicing through me. My stomach rolls and pinches at the agony. I stagger away in a desperate attempt to escape the pain, only to run into another flicker. And not just any flicker. This one is a small toddler wearing a dragon pajamas carrying an oversized looking glass. "Hold me," he wails, his little fingers clutching at my hip. The pain is so intense it burns straight through my skin into the flesh and bones below. Instinctively, I start to jerk away, but tears are pouring down his little face. He's no more than 3 or 4, and flicker or not, pain or not, I just can't leave him like this. And so I crouch down until our faces are level, ignoring Lewis's startled, "Clementine, what are you doing?" I know he can't hear me, can't feel me, but I reach out a finger to wipe a few of the boy's tears away anyway. The weird, fiery feeling spreads through my fingertips and my palm. His only response is to throw his ghostly arms around me and sob harder as he presses his little face into my neck. I can't feel his weight in my arms, but agony swamps me as a contact anyways. Pain flowing over me from all sides. But I don't let go. How can I when he's got no one else to hold him? "What's wrong? Are you okay?" I say instinctively, even though I know the answer won't come. But he shakes his head, sending new, deeper waves of pain through me. He even whimpers. "I don't like snakes." "Me either," I answer with a shudder. But then it dawns to me that he's not just talking to me, he's answering me, which means he can hear me, even though none of our other spirits have ever been able to. I only have a second to wonder how's that possible before he asks, "Why not?" His teary eyes are wide, with his little hands burn my cheeks where he cups them. "I was bit by one when I was your age. I haven't gotten near a snake since." He nods like that makes sense before whispering, "Then you should run." All right, so we are done chapters 8 to 9. Now, this is the part of the podcast where if you guys don't care about my opinion, to just skip ahead and go to the next episode, or you could just listen to me ramble on. Anyways, let's get into it. So, Clementine doesn't have the meeting with her mom just yet. Her mom postponed her. She pretty much yeeted her. But these past 2 chapters is we find out a lot about Clementine. So I was a little confused of, what she is. I understand, she has magic, so I assume she's a witch. But at the same time, she has special other powers that, her family doesn't know of. Or anyone, really. For example, she can see ghosts. In these 2 chapters, she sees every single ghost. And for whatever reason, most of them, they can see her, but they can't hear her. They can't, do anything to her. But this is In chapter 9, it is the first time she realizes that a ghost can actually hear her, which is a little boy, maybe around the age of 3 or 4. He's crying and he's afraid, and surprisingly, he actually replies back to her. But it definitely seems like it's a little warning, especially because he told her to run. Because both her and him are afraid of snakes. So if that was me, I would skip Trinkler duty every single day after that. Like, I would not want to be, you know what it reminds me of? Harry Potter and that giant ass snake. I forget what it's called. The Baliscus? I have to look it up again. But that's what it reminds me of. That's what I'm thinking right now. There's a giant snake running in this school that will petrify the students. But let's see, what does this snake do, if it's relevant or if it's just to let us know of what her power is. Isn't Lewis such a good friend? Even after he knows like all this scary shit is going on, just to make sure that Clementine is still alive, he still goes down in a dangerous dungeon, or not so dungeon as Clementine's family says it. He goes down there to help her out, to make sure that she comes out of it safe and alive. It's actually so sweet of him to watch over her. It makes me kind of wonder, because it never states if he does like guys, if he likes girls. It makes me wonder, is he secretly just like the gay best friend, or is he like the best friend that just really likes her and will do anything for her? That would be kind of cool. Well, we'll see. Honestly, Tracy Wolf, like with her previous books, she's had, different types of relationships in the books. So really, let's see where this one goes. Let's see if Lewis gets into a relationship. I'd want to know. There's not too much about the past 2 chapters. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Please listen to my other podcast, Midnight Sun, the book podcast. You can follow me on YouTube. My account's called Kris, the book podcast. And my Twitter handle, or the X handle as you would call it, I still like calling it Twitter. Maybe I'm an oldie now. I'm no longer new from when Elon Musk bought it. But my Twitter handle is at Kris the podcast. I forgot to place the word book in there, but you know what? Oh well, it's now Kris the podcast. If you guys could follow, share, also listen to my podcast, that would be amazing. I'll also link down a GoFundMe that I have started. You guys don't have to do anything. I don't really care. It's just if I do raise enough money, I'm planning on buying a new microphone. All this time, I've just been using my phone, and I'm pretty sure you guys can hear it. But so far, this is the best I can do. And yeah, I love having this as a hobby, just getting to talk randomly, gets me to use my voice in the day. It's something to do, something to look forward to. And I get so excited whenever, I get 1 like or 1 view. I get so excited from it. And I love the people who have listened to me and retweeted my stuff, or, listened to the podcast. Thank you for the people in the US and Russia. Surprisingly, those are the 2 countries so far where I've had people listen to me. I would love for it to branch out to other countries. Like, I'm in Canada. I would love if, people close to me, around me, can listen. But anyways, thanks for listening. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Toodaloo. Bye.